Good morning and welcome to my balcony where I'm having a little bit of breakfast, which we'll talk about. I've got some books here. I want to talk to you about some stuff that I've recently come across. But before I do, I just want to introduce you to part 3 and the last video in the series with Philip and I. So please enjoy that, and then at the end you'll come back to me and I've got some things to share with you. So see you later. So brother, here we are again. If you've noticed, subtle difference here, we've gone from white to red.
Indeed.
Okay.
How was dinner?
Well, hopefully it's coming shortly after this. Cheers.
Cheers.
Chateau Gouffron.
Ooh, that's
2001.
Nice. That's rather nice.
Haute-Medoc. Very nice. Okay, so we're back working together at Manston. We've formed Positive Impact Golf. I've written the book, it's published, the YouTube video is out. I'm beginning to gather some force. So now I think what we'd like to hear of is easier golf. Easier golf from your armchair?
Yeah.
What's that all about? Okay,
need to kind of rewind a little bit, just to sort of go back to what was happening. I explained already that Brian had taken over all the coaching at the centre. So I was just there actually managing the place, kind of running everything else. But I had a number of people I used to coach who still needed some help, but they were looking towards the psychology help rather than help with their swing. And these were a few, in particular, some young tour players, aspiring tour players, let's say, who needed some help with the way their mind was working on the golf course, trying to build better mental strength, confidence, all those things that are so essential to playing the game well. And so I started helping them on a kind of one-to-one basis, just initially just doing courses with them indoors at home, helping them out. And I'd done that. I'd written some stuff that I thought might end up being a book. So that was kind of stored to one side. The course that we're getting rained on.
Right, let's carry on.
We'll carry on.
Yeah.
So I had the course that I was coaching these people with. I had the written work that was kind of evolving into a book, but nothing was all that formulated. I was too busy doing other things at the time. And then we had the lockdown in 2020. And so all of a sudden, can't work, nothing to do, stuck indoors, as you've seen with the clips with Brian. We just got all this wealth of experience and no way to actually communicate it out to people. And I suddenly thought to myself, well, I wonder if I could combine everything I've ever learnt into an online course that people could do. They could do it at their own pace. They could do it without having to sit in a room with a psychology coach, so that anybody anywhere in the world could do this rather than having to come to me. And so I looked around online and found a platform where I could actually develop this whole course. And it's a combination of videos and downloadable PDFs. So information that you download that you can read, but most of it is actually information that you complete yourself. So it's actually it's a self-learning program. I'm there just kind of prompting you in the right direction. So that's what it's become. And the reason I called it Easier Golf was because it connected to Easiest Swing. And the reason it says from your armchair is because you can do it from home. You don't need to go to the driving range, the practice ground to learn these things. So it's a great way to improve your game without necessarily having to go to the golf course or to the driving range.
But certainly from my point of view, and I know it now pretty much in depth, and it is totally complementary to the Easiest Swing. It's exactly the same psychology that you would get, or the help with your attitude, if you like, and your mindset when you have any coaching from any of our coaches. but it's more specific. And I can only suggest that you do that. It's complementary, so it's not as if you can't have coaching with one of our coaches and do this. It's not as if one stops you doing the other, and it's just another step forward in presenting something to people which really makes a difference. I can't tell you how rewarding it is to have written a book that people say, I've read a book and I've learnt to enjoy my golf more and to perform better by reading a book, watching a video, not having lessons. And I know that you can do that with Philip's course. So it's simple. Psychology is a bit of a worrying word, as I mentioned before. It's simple. It's not complicated.
No,
we stand for, our ethos is, let's make this simple.
Again, going back to the first video we did a few weeks ago, where we talked about the encyclopedia. You know, the expert is the person who understands the encyclopedia, has the vast range of knowledge. But what you need as somebody trying to improve your game is you don't need to know that encyclopedia. You just need to know the bit in the encyclopedia which is right for you. And hopefully through my course you'll go through it and there'll be parts that you'll look at and you think, no, that doesn't really interest me very much, or it doesn't really help me. But other bits that you can find that you say, wow, that really makes a difference to me. And some of the techniques I use they're just so simple. They're really not complicated, and so you shouldn't be frightened of.
If I can put it in the most simple terms, it's not as if you actually are in contact with Philip through this, but the stuff that you get, you look at that, and then you look at, wow, he's shone a torch on an area of my game that is a weakness, and now I've got some tools to help me build some strength in that area. And that combined with an easier golf swing,
absolutely,
magic potion.
Magic potion, absolutely.
A bit like
a bit like that. But seriously, guys, if you and girls, if you want to have a look at this, it's very simple. Just go to my website, which is easiergolf.org. You can send me an email at philip with one L at easiergolf.org, and just take a look at it. That will lead you through to the course. At this stage in time, I'm just starting it. It's nearly finished. I want some people to have a go at it and try it out. So at the moment, it's free. It won't be free for very long. So the first few people who have a go at it, you're going to get a great reward there that's not going to cost you anything. So please have a go at it, but give me some feedback, please. I want to hear what you think of it. And for the rest of you, it might then start costing you a little bit, but it won't cost you as much as a new golf club.
It'll be an investment.
Transform your game.
An investment in yourself, and you can't beat that as an investment. Philip,
Ryan,
thank you very much indeed. I think we better go and have dinner.
I think before we get absolutely soaked here, we better go and have dinner.
Luckily it's midsummer, so it's not too cold.
Absolutely. And
thank you for joining
evening.
us. Hello again. So I hope you enjoyed that. And I just have to start off with a qualification, an update on what's happened since. That the video that came out that announced the fact that Philip was looking for some people to take on this course and test it and try it out, and that there was no cost involved. Never in our careers have we ever had the same sort of result, the same sort of response. So within hours he had so many people signed up that he had to close the complimentary offer. So apologies to anybody who missed out on that, but because feedback is important to him and he wants to be in communication with those people, he just couldn't cope with the number of people that that wanted to do it. So however, the first part of the course, each part is different and there's a different cost. First part is £49.95, but what he's agreed to do is that anybody who missed out on that but would like to do it anyway, it's half price. And because that one is half price, they'll be registered, and they will, if they want to go on to the second and third parts, each one of those gets a little bit longer and a little bit more into depth. So they will also be at half price, and course number 2 is £69 and course number 3 is £89. So, and you pay them as you go along, and you don't have to do them. You might find that after one you think, wow, this is fantastic, this has really helped me, I don't need any more. That's fine. Okay, so we do apologise, but it just became impossible for Philip to cope. Thank you very much for your response. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. So I've got a couple of books here that I've found through researching for my book, and part of my research is reading some books that I've read a long time ago, or ones that I've discovered but hadn't had time to read. So I've been doing more reading in the last in this lockdown period than I've probably ever done, and I've gone back over 2 Deepak Chopra books. Ageless Body, Timeless Mind, I've talked to you about it before. Wonderful, and a very medical book, so quite a tough read, but the theme in this book is aging physical? And of course it is. Or is it something to do with the mind? And are we just conforming to the way people age because everybody's doing it? An interesting book. It made a big impact on me, and there'll be parts of that book that I will be mentioning in my book, because I read that after I'd written Positive Impact Golf. And this is his a more recent one, and it's called Super Brain, and he's co-authored this with Rudolph E. Tanzi, who is Professor of Neurology at Harvard Medical School. So it is, when they say Super Brain, that is so well titled, because you will learn so much in this book. It's just literally mind-blowing. Sorry, a bit of a pun there. So I want to read a little bit about it, because I'm so excited about this part in particular, because I'm somebody, meditation's a rather posh word. I learnt many years ago, and I think I mentioned it in my chat with Philip, I went to a weekend sports psychology course, and they didn't do meditation, but about half a dozen times over the weekend they did what they called a relaxation exercise, and it's meditation, and I've developed it over time, and I happen to believe that meditation, the ability to relax the mind and go into yourself, and it's wonderful, it's therapeutic, there's so many benefits. So I would strongly recommend anybody do it. I think it should be taught in schools. So this book isn't all about aging, and it isn't all about things that are apt for senior golfers, but I want to read you this particular part. So I couldn't wait until you buy my book, so I wanted to share this with you now. Uncertainty number 1. Aging is very slow. It begins around age 30 and progresses at roughly 1% a year. This slowness prevents us from actually observing a cell as it ages. We see the effects only after years have passed. Nor are these effects uniform. For every aspect of physical and mental deterioration, some people actually get better with age. By getting enough exercise, they may become stronger than they were when they were young. For a small, fortunate few, at age 90, memory can improve rather than decline. Well, I hope that works with me, because well, we know about the memory, don't we? Senior moments and all that. Aging is like a ragged army, in which some cells advance ahead of others, but the whole army moves at a snail's pace and with great stealth. No matter which approach you take to anti-aging, your brain is involved. No cell in the body is an island. All are receiving an unbroken stream of messages from the central nervous system. Certain messages are good for cells, and others are bad. If you can maximize the positive messages and minimize the negative ones, anti-aging becomes a real possibility. My book was called Positive Impact Golf, and I believe so much in the positive waves, positive vibes. It turns out that anti-aging is a gigantic feedback loop that lasts a lifetime. The term feedback loop keeps returning in this book because science is discovering more and more about how these loops work. Science is discovering more and more about how these loops... Sorry, I've read that already. I'm looking forward to being 90 and getting memory going. In 2010, an exciting joint study from the University of California at Davis and University College San Francisco revealed that meditation leads to an increase in a crucial enzyme called telomerase. I might not be pronouncing that correctly, so for all those medics out there, apologies. At the end of every chromosome is a repetitive chemical structure called a telomere, which acts like the period or full stop at the end of a sentence. It closes off the chromosome's DNA and helps to keep it intact. In recent years, the fraying of telomeres has been connected to the breakdown of the body as it ages. Due to imperfect cell division, telomeres get shorter, and the risk emerges that stress will degrade a cell's genetic code. Having healthy telomeres seems to be important, and therefore it's good news that meditation can increase the enzyme that replenishes telomeres, which is called telomerase. This research sounds highly technical, mainly of interest to cell biologists. I think we would agree with that. But the University College study went a step further and showed that the psychological benefits of meditation are linked to telomerase. High telomerase levels, which also seem to be supported by exercise and a healthy diet, are part of a feedback loop that results, surprisingly enough, in a sense of personal well-being and the ability to cope with stress. We golfers, we don't know about stress. What's that? This one finding helps to cement the most basic tenet of mind-body medicine, that every cell is eavesdropping on the brain. A kidney cell doesn't think in words. It doesn't say to itself, I've had a horrible day at work, the stress is killing me. But it is participating wordlessly in that thought. Meditation brings a sense of well-being to the mind, while silently spreading the same feeling via a chemical like telomerase to your DNA. Nothing is excluded from the feedback loop. The mind-body connection is real, and choices make a difference. With those two facts in place, the anti-aging brain holds untold promise. The number of cells we have in our body, the number of atoms, the interaction, apparently it's thousands and thousands of times a second that these things are all on automatic. We don't know that's happening. We're not, the brain, the conscious mind certainly isn't in their control. All of that's happening naturally. And talking about health, drink, so here am I having breakfast. It's breakfast, so there's no glass of wine. Oh, the next page he actually talks about some things that are very important. And one is he doesn't think that alcohol is very good for you, apart from red wine. So as you've seen a moment ago, Philip and I were having a rather nice bottle on my birthday. So here I've got non-dairy milk, because milk is not something that adult humans should be consuming. I've got banana, avocado, beetroot. I have turmeric, blueberries, blackberries, orange, walnuts and almonds. So cheers. So I hope you didn't find that too complicated. There will be much more in my book. Yes, there'll be lots of other things, an update about Positive Impact Golf transposing itself into easier swing. Lots happened in the 10 years since the book was published. So that there'll be a lot in there purely about golf, but there will also be quite a lot of this because it is going to be a book for seniors. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Apologies again for the fact that the complimentary period had to be so short, literally a few hours. And you'll have Philip's email address and the website again popping up when I finished chuntering on. Okay, so thanks very much indeed. Wonderful information, a lot of hope that we can actually do something about the aging process. So thanks again for watching, and look forward to seeing you again soon.